Hey guys, I've been wanting to do this video for a while. CL Designs has created an incredible chassis, actually two of them really, and I wanted to do a little rig rundown on both of these, and kind of give you a little bit of an idea of what the Spartan is, a little bit about CL Designs, and a little bit about the differences between the V1 and the V2. I have the actual chassis here, V1 and V2. I can show you real quick. Gonna try to keep this as short and concise as possible, but it could run on for a little while, so just bear with me. But anyway, so I met Alexis with CL Designs about a year and a half ago at a competition here locally. He is an awesome dude. He is, I think he has a partner. I think his name's Jonathan. But them two, they own and operate CL Designs. And I believe it's Crawler Locos is what CL stands for. Alexis is from Puerto Rico. And I met him here when he was here for school. And he came and joined our local comps and stuff. And that's how I met him. But anyway, let's look at the truck. So I'll put the V2 down and we'll go over the V1 first real quick. But this has been my bread and butter for the last year. This thing has been an absolute moneymaker for me. I have done really well with this thing, and I appreciate all the help and support from Alexis and all the CL design teams guys. It's actually been absolutely incredible. Before I get too deep in it, I was going to show you the hardware this thing's racked up over the past year or so I've been driving it. I got a third place finish, but I don't have the trophy with me here. So got 2 first place finishes at the Crawlmaster Shootout comp here locally in Georgia. Just got this the other day. First place finish at the Boneyard over in Demarest, Georgia. And then this was the second place trophy for the overall season of the Crawlmaster, the 2024-2025 season Crawlmaster Shootout. Yeah, those are the trophies I've won. And like I said, there's a third place missing here that I never did get the trophy for. But this thing has been absolutely incredible. It's an extremely forward skid chassis, further forward than a lot of the forward skid chassis that I've seen. It's got more belly clearance than a lot of the chassis I've seen. Like I can compare this to a high-low because I have several friends that have high-lows, they're great chassis, but I think this takes it up a notch and gives you even more than that chassis does. But as you can see, there is a ton of breakover with this thing. I can fit my arm and hand under there. It bumps right here a little bit, but at the highest point, I'm barely touching those links. There's so much clearance under there. The breakover is absolutely insane. And that provides for, with all that forward weight and all that forward skid, that provides for a very forward weight biased. So that will, once you get open up and over an object and you get that first, 25% of the chassis over the obstacle, it's going to want to pull you over and get you up and over it. So if you can get that front right over the lip of that skid right over that breakover point, and then it'll start pulling you over. And that's what I love about this chassis. If you build it properly, you get the front end weighted properly, you will be able to go just about anywhere and slay with this thing, as long as it falls within the rules of the comp that you're running. The way I got this thing spec'd out I think this truck, if I'm not mistaken, last I had it on the scales, I think it was 63% forward bias. But that, and then the V2, I think that's 66%, just the way I have it set up. But I don't have any wheel weights. I have the Amazon carbon fiber wheels. I do have the brass discs, brass hubs, and then I have a brass differential cover on the front, not on the rear. Brass reefs, raw 800. That servo has been amazing, super powerful, super fast, perfect for this AR45 with the servo behind the axle setup. Been running the Secure 2670 ESC in this. I've been running the servo off of the included BEC. It's not really rated for that, but it has been working fine for me. I have not had to have an external BEC, but I am changing this out in the future to a Apex or a Hyper Electronics Apex ESC, because it has a higher amperage rate. I've got a Holmes Hobby 2025 1800 kV motor in here, the purple one. And then I run this truck. I believe this is running on a 11-tooth pinion. But yeah, this is running on an 11-tooth pinion. And then I've got the Radio Link receiver, 4-channel, tiny little receiver, so it fits in there nicely and it's light, doesn't take up much room. Running deluxe DraftTech shocks, 90. These are the shorts, I believe. So I think it's like 90, 92 millimeters, something like that. Front and back running, I believe 60 weight oil, front and back. Got the super soft springs in the front, mediums in the rear. Of course, J-Concepts ruptures. Amazing tires, and if your comp rules allow you to use these tires, at least around my area, there are no better. No better. So, and I got it on AR45 portals from Axial. Like I mentioned, I have several custom 3D printed mounts that I have designed for the V1 chassis with this type of setup. So if you're interested, if you're still running a V1 and you're interested in a couple 3D different parts to have everything tucked up and set up like this, let me know and I can try to get with you on that. But as far as setup goes, oh yeah, I have the titanium links from one of our team drivers, Nick. He goes by Apothecary RC or Apothecary on Instagram. So if you're looking for links for the V1 or the V2, they are interchangeable. They're the same links. You can get with him on Instagram, Apothecary RC, and ask him, and he will set you up. They are terrific, high quality links. He does a really good job with them. Also, I got the deluxe skinny cut the length shafts in the front and in the rear, or actually, excuse me, in the middle. The rear is a titanium exo shaft to save a little weight in the rear. And then these were custom made by a friend of Alexis's for me and Alexis. These the steering links. I don't know how I could even explain to you how to get those. I don't even know if I can get them again, but that's pretty much on this truck. And like I said, that's a 3D printed part made by me. That's a part made by me. This battery, this is where my battery goes. I designed and built that part, and I designed and built this ESC mount and the receiver mount. So if you need any mounts for this stuff, hit me up. You can shoot me a message on here, Instagram, TikTok, anywhere. I'm on all the major platforms as Highline RC. So if you need any help building one of these, or if you need help sourcing parts or 3D printed stuff or whatever for these chassis, let me know. I'm about to redo this whole chassis when I swap it over to the V2. So I should have all of the parts that we'll need once I finish this project that will fit the V2. But as of right now, I have 3D printed parts for the V1 for a AR45P with a servo behind the axle setup. So if you have that and that's what you're going to run and you need a couple 3D printed parts, let me know and I will try to hook you up. I am running a 3D printed link riser in the rear, but as far as everything goes on the V1, that's it. But I don't think Alexis is selling the V1 on the website anymore. He's moved on to the V2. But if you happen to find a V1 on the aftermarket somewhere, somebody selling it or whatever, don't hesitate to buy it. Like I said, it's an incredible chassis, and I've got the trophies to prove it. So don't hesitate to buy one. But all right, let me show you. Put this one down, and we'll pick up the V2. I'll go over this puppy real quick. And I'm running Power Wagon bodies on both of them. I may be swapping to a Reef's Plague on the Portal truck. I just haven't decided yet. Probably going that route. But anyway, this is my V2. I just finished this build probably about a week and a half ago, and ran it in my first comp the other day. Did really well with it. I actually ran both trucks in the same comp. Got first with the Portal, probably because I'm just more used to that, and this is still new. I'm still going to do a little tuning on it, I think. But actually had a three-way tie finish with this one. First comp I ever put it in. Tied 3 ways for second. But the tiebreaker was time. So I was a little bit slower than the other couple guys, so I ended up 4th with this chassis. But it was a 3-way tie as far as the gates and everything go. But it was the tiebreaker was time. But anyway, this is the Spartan V2. So the differences between the 1 and V2, the chassis, you can't really see, the chassis rails are a little bit thicker, so it adds a little strength there in the front and the rear. I believe Alexis has shortened the chassis rail in the front by just a tiny bit, because I did have this truck built as a V1 before, and it would hit the chassis rails pretty hard. Now it's very, very minimal rub right here on the chassis rail. So I think he did shrink that back a little bit. The skid on the V2 has been raised to give you tons more clearance underneath the skid particularly, and I have noticed that was a major improvement. One thing about the V1 that I didn't like is that skid kind of hung up a good little bit, and kind of you had to wiggle your way over some stuff, which, you know, it's not horrible, and I was able to overcome that issue for the most part. But this V2 chassis is solving that issue. Of course, that comes at a compromise of a little bit higher CG, but I think it's worth it. I am running this truck on F10 straight axles, same deluxe shocks. The Reef's 900 Smart, I got it in here. Awesome servo. This one's even stronger. This is a full-size servo. The other one's an LP, but this one's even stronger than the what was that, 800? Yeah, 800 LP. Love this thing. Love both of them, but and I got this one on the servo instead of behind the servo. Running the same motor, 1900 Holmes Hobby 2025 team spec. What else? I got overdrive. Oh, forgot to mention on the other one, I've got the Team Garage Hack Wild Portal gears for it. I think that puts it up to like 36 or 37% overdrive in the front. This one, I've got gears in it in the underdrive in the rear, overdrive in the front, and I should be around the same, I think 35 to 36% with the gears I got in it. And this one I'm running the Hyper Electronics Apex ESC. This one puts out from the BEC up to, I think, 8.4 volts, and I think it runs about 10 or 12 amps. So this is plenty powerful to power these bigger servos. So this is a perfect setup to run this servo. What else? Same links, got the links from Nick, Apothecary RC. So give him a holler if you need something. I made these steering links out of thread-all. I would like to redo those eventually and have them look a little bit better. Running a link riser in the rear. I've got, actually in this one I did put wheel weights, the lock rings, brass lock rings. They would not fit these wheels, so I had a buddy, I bought some lock rings, brass lock 1/9 lock rings off Amazon, and then had a buddy that has a lathe and turned them down for me so they'd fit these wheels. So that worked great. And then on these F10 straight axles, I've got these deluxe knuckles. So these things are made for AR44, I think, axles, but they fit the F10s. And I got these things for like 50 or 60 bucks on sale, I think. These things are amazing. Tons of forward weight. That helps so much as far as the pulling you over obstacles and climbing and everything like that. And both these trucks have the Phantom X transmission from CL Designs in them. It's kind of hard to see it, but it's built into the chassis. The transmission plates are built into the chassis. They are not mounted to the skids, unlike pretty much every other crawler has a transmission that's mounted to the skid, but these are not. It's a very unique design. I love it. It's really cool. But when you buy a Spartan kit from the CL Designs website, comes with the chassis rails, comes with several, I think one or two, well, it comes with a rear cross brace with a body mount, comes with the bearing carrier, 3D printed bearing carrier with the shaft and the bearings, comes with the Phantom X transmission, comes with the skid, it comes with 2 body mounts, and I think that's all you get with the kit. But I'd have to go and look at the price. I can't remember exactly, but I think it's somewhere around $260, $270 on the CL Designs website right now. And that I think is a steal, because the transmission alone is like $100. Maybe even more than $100. I'd have to go price it. I don't recall exactly. You have to just go and look. But and then on top of that, all of these 3D printed parts, other than the stock ones, I designed and built for this V2 chassis and this particular setup. So I have a couple different versions of this, but this version is specifically designed for the Apex ESC from Hyper. Fits on the side like that, perfect, and replaces the slider. Oh, and you do get sliders with the chassis kit when you buy it from CL Designs, but I just don't like chassis or sliders, so I try not to run them if I can help it. So yeah, I have 2 different designs as of right now for ESCs to mount on the side like this. One for the Hyper ESC, Apex ESC, and then I have another one for the Secure 2670, like I had on the other truck, that it will bolt right up here and suck it up real close and tight. And then I also have another mount designed. I'm not using it, but I designed it for a buddy, that mounts these little batteries I use. If I can find one, I got it right here. These little batteries I have right here, the 300 milliamp Gowning 300 milliamp 4S batteries mount right here perfectly. So if you were interested in that, let me know. Then I designed this brace / body mount / shock tower mount. So issue I was having with this particular setup, you may not have this issue, but with mine, I was having an issue at full lock where the tires were rubbing extremely hard on the shocks and they were binding up. And I wanted to try to figure out a way to fix that. So I designed this and mounted the shocks a little higher, and that pulled them back and allowed less binding on the tires at full lock. So now everything spins, feel it freely. It still touches, but it's fine. It works perfectly good. And I have two different designs for battery mounts with a servo on axle as far as where you mount your battery. So, and I'm still working on a couple of these, but one of them is for a battery that mounts chassis mounted, because in a lot of the comps I run, you have to run a chassis mounted battery. So that's what this does. And it's mounted on the chassis, but it rests on the front links and articulates a little bit with the links. So it kind of keeps, when the axles drop out, the battery drops down to lower the CG slightly with the axle. Not sure if it's going to make a huge difference, but I know it will make, you know, a minor difference. And then you can see the purple mount that I have around the battery. So if you can run battery mounted on your axle in your comps, you can I would remove this plate that I currently have this on, and then use a battery strap to strap it to this purple mount that I have mounted on the back of the servo. And this would only work if you're running an F10 portal or straight with the Vanquish plastic servo mount. So that's what this particular part is designed for. But what else? I think that's pretty much it. Same rear drive shaft, the Exo titanium, and I just have a couple cheap Amazon drive shafts that I had from another truck. I do have the deluxe ones just like on the truck. I just haven't cut them and fit them yet. I will be doing that in the future. But this truck, like I said, is amazing. Just the Spartan chassis in general is an amazing chassis. Can't go wrong with it. And I think I have seen a lot of different chassis in the last couple years, and I've ran against a bunch of different chassis, and I think with a good driver, a lot of them are very competitive. But if you take this Spartan chassis and put it with a good driver, you are basically an unstoppable force. If you ask me, that's just my opinion. But you can also take this chassis and put an average driver in it, and it will extremely increase your capabilities, even with, you know, an average driver. And I would say that I'm not a professional driver. I'm an average driver, and I've been able to take home some trophies. And I'm still relatively new to this hobby compared to a lot of people. So I've only been comping for maybe 2 years, getting close to 2 years, I think now. So I have a lot to learn still. But this chassis, if you get one, you will be absolutely blown away by the capabilities of this thing. And like I said, if you are interested in any of these 3D printed parts for the V1 or the V2, and soon I will have the 3D printed parts designed and made up for a portal version of the V2. As of right now, a lot of these parts for this straight axle Spartan V2 will convert over to a portal setup, but it just depends on which part you're looking for. Oh, and also, it's hard to see. I might have one over here I can show you. But I designed this part is what's sitting right here over top of the transmission. But what it is it bolts over top of the transmission like this, and it gives you somewhere to mount all of your wires and electronics. And then it has a little plate that bumps out off the back of it, and that's what I have my receiver stuck to. And I have one for like tiny receivers like what I use, and then also I have a bigger one for your standard kind of traditional bigger cased receivers. But I think that is pretty much it. But go ahead and get you a CL Designs Spartan. You will not be disappointed, and it will surprise you and blow you away with what you can do with it. It has me. I ran when I first started comping, I was running a Phoenix that was highly modified, and then I took it and got a Zoku chassis for the Phoenix, and that increased my capabilities with the truck substantially. But I was still limited in what I could do, and the whole comp scene was changing so fast, and I couldn't keep up until I met Alexis, got one of these, and it has changed drastically from there for me, thankfully. But before I let you go, I'll show you these chassis rails real quick and let you kind of see the comparison between the V1 and the V2. This is the V1, and you can see it's a little thinner in this area, a little thinner here in this area. The skid and the plate and everything is lower, so it's got a little bit less belly, or not belly, but skid clearance underneath than the V1. And also you'll see in a second on the V1 there's an extra hole, and I'll tell you what that's for. Actually, V2, sorry. Now this is the V2 chassis. He's added more shock mounting positions, and I think you can go out to like a 14-inch wheelbase if you want to. He's thickened up these rear sections to add rigidity to the chassis. Thickened up the front section some. I think he's brought that front section in slightly. Raised the skid up to give you more clearance underneath. And then he raised this section here a little bit higher for the shock mounts. And then this hole right here, in conjunction with another one of these holes, I don't know if you can order it from his website or not, but I saw a prototype of a mount where you could mount like a Reef's 99 micro servo right here, and then run it with your fuel tube or whatever over to the front, and then you would be able to have a winch on this type truck. Not that you really need it much because it freaking goes anywhere. But yeah, this is the V2, and compared to the V1, and this is them right next to each other. You can kind of see the difference. It's hard to see on the video, I'm sure, but this is the V1, this is the V2. Nope, excuse me. This is the V2, this is the V1. But you can see the difference. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'm Josh with Highline RC, and I'll be putting out more content like this, hopefully, in relation to the Spartan. And I'll probably do another rig rundown with my gold truck once I get it finished and converted over to the V2. I'll try to do another video of it. But just stay tuned. I try to post, crawler related content all the time, whether it be trail running stuff or comp related stuff like this here. But stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and you have a good one.
There you are. There you are.
Nice.
There you are.
Got
it right there.
You gotta float the tire. Just don't hit the boundary. Look how pretty that is. Floating that tire. Oh, look how pretty. Work
You
it
are
out
good.
nice. That's some of the most beautiful crawling.
That's the only thing.
Very pretty. Just don't screw up now.
Really?
No. Get it, Jeff. Get it. Beautiful.
There it is.
Keep it just like that right there.
Don't let the ice in fall down in the hole too bad. Keep the front bias on this side.
Just like that, Josh.
There you go.
Give her a little juice, give her a little juice, give her a little juice.
Look at them deluxe knuckles holding that thing down.
Turn. There it is. There it is. Cleaned
Get
it.
it, son. Get it. You got a minute left, Robert. Plenty of time.
Beautiful.
Good job.
That's the way you do it. So, first two. Beautiful transition, looking good.
Keep it high, Josh. Keep it high. It's going to slide a little bit when it shifts over.
Nice, looking good, looking good. Beautiful. Perfect line.
Commit to it. Yeah, brother.
Great job.
Good job.
Good job.
This right here is going to be wow. Good job. I don't care if you're ready.
Number 30.